Do you need a prenuptial agreement with your Filipina? This is certainly a question I get asked many times in my YouTube community, so I thought I would address the question right here. And my answer isn't as straightforward as many people may think. Looking to date a Filipina or already dating or married to a Filipina? I use my experiences around my relationship with my Filipina wife of 6 years, as well as my professional experience as a qualified relationship counsellor for the past 10 years to help you on your way. Are you after information, tips and resources for a successful relationship with a Filipina and maintain it? Too easy. Just take a second to subscribe and click the bell icon, and I promise you'll never miss out again. I want to say straight up that I'm not a lawyer, and what I say here is only my own personal views. I always advise people to get good legal advice first. Everyone has different circumstances and may have different reasons for considering a prenup, but the first thing to consider is, do prenups stand up legally? I've heard different stories around this, and it's certainly something you need to find the answer for yourself before going and spending money on a lawyer to draw up the document. I would want to be 100% sure that if I'm trying to protect what I came into the relationship with, that this document will stand up in a court of law if required to do so. If in the end you find that a prenup doesn't stand up legally, or you're not confident it will, then case closed, and possibly look at other ways of securing any assets prior to the marriage. But if you go ahead with the prenup and you believe it is watertight, then I would only think you want a prenup if you were going to marry or register your marriage in your own country. I know in countries like Australia, and I've also heard it's similar in the USA, the laws in the event of divorce are heavily stacked towards the woman, especially if any children are involved. The man may often lose the house, furniture, car, money, and even good part of his superannuation, which are all things he may have brought into the relationship initially. Then on top of this, if he has kids, he'll be paying child support until the child turns 18. And in the USA, I believe they pay alimony, but perhaps our USA visitors can help us a little bit out with the details in the comments section. As a man who has been through this in Australia and has lost a lot, I can see why people, no matter where they come from or where they live, may want to protect what they have came into the relationship with in the first place, and to a lesser extent this may include women as well. These days women may go after a career and sometimes earn more than the man, or may come into the relationship with a house where the man has no house, so it can actually work both ways. But when we're talking about a Filipina who's in the relationship, it's somewhat different, as she most likely won't have come into the relationship with a lot when you marry her. I do believe if one was to get a prenup, then the money you both earn should be kept separate throughout the marriage, as it's not fair for the Filipina to work and join her money with yours, only to get very little back in the event of a divorce happening. Splitting bills down the middle would be appropriate, and I'm not talking about a mortgage you may have, because the house would always remain yours, so she shouldn't need to contribute there. But general items such as food, electricity, phone, etc. And if she wanted a car, she would need to save for the car or manage repayments herself. Some people may be happy for these type of arrangements within a marriage, and some may be not. So it would depend on you and your Filipina what you guys work out. So you'd obviously need to have a chat with your Filipina well before you got married, or probably even before you proposed. For some this can come as a shock, and others maybe not so, but I do believe we all have a right to protect any important assets that we've worked hard for, just in case the relationship fails. And let's face it, nothing is guaranteed, no matter how good things may seem at one point in time. We hope for the best, but we should always plan for the worst. If a prenuptial agreement is 100% tight, then I don't see any problems with wanting one if you have assets to protect and you're prepared to pay the lawyer a good fee. I would love to hear what people with experience around this have to say, as I've heard so many conflicting stories. Do you believe prenups are legally binding in a court of law, or does it depend on the type of prenup and how good the lawyer is? Your comments on this would be greatly appreciated. See if you guys can have a good discussion below and get some solid information together. For tips and information around dating a Filipina, be sure to check out my end screen card appearing now. Be sure to like and share the video, subscribe and press the bell icon. Thanks for watching guys, take care and bye for now.